This is how to install our screw-free range on a Klip-Lok roof. So the first step is to place the clips along the gutter. So to do this, the first clip is going to go right on the edge of the gutter, just like so. And then we're going to use the trim to guide out spaces every 5. So we're going to count across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put another one there. If at any point as you're going along, you end up to run into an internal bracket, we can position it 4 or 6 so that it doesn't really matter too much. So we can see we're going to count across our 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that's going to be in the way of this bracket. So we can either do 4 or 6. So here we'll just do 4. So we'll go 4 and we can place it there so it's on the other side of the bracket. So the next step, once we put those clips on, is to roll out the mesh. So I'm going to roll this out. Now we're just going to cut the mesh on the end. So now that we've rolled out the mesh, we're now going to put the trims on. So just as we did beforehand, they'll go on every 5. So the spacing should be pretty good. There's a chance that it could be off. You might need to wiggle them left to right just to get them to fit. You'll see when you get to overlapping them, you'll see at the start on the left-hand side of each trim, there's a little spot with no spikes. This is made so that it can overlap. So you can see this one's just a little bit off, just adjust it to the left so it fits down. And move them just across. Perfect. So now we've got them down and we can see you've got quite a bit of excess trim. So we're going to have to cut the trim. And we'll also perfectly line up this mesh then as well. A little snip in the side here, and then we can take it off and we can line up that snip. So we can line up that snip there, and we can go through just like that. So now we can put this trim on. It can sit like that, and we can see this mesh is just a little bit long. So to fix that up, we can just cut this down. Now once we've done that, it's time to put the top plate of the clips on. So these just get pushed on the top and then you just got to push them down. You've got to push them down a little bit further than what you think. Want them to go all the way in and then just click one more time. So the clips can be easily removed by just using a flathead screwdriver, just along the back of them, push them down and up they come. So now we're just bending down the mesh. This is important to do with 2mm mesh. When it's installed, just helps the water go through the mesh slightly better. So once you've gone through, you can see that it's done, and you can go back through again and tidy it up if you need to. So now we're going to put some slits in the mesh. So we're going to be like a V. So want them to be about 120 to 130 millimeters deep. So the important next step is to clean your roof. So when we push these down, we're going to have the mini profiles sticking down. So you just want to clean the roof where they're going to stick down. Soapy water is the best thing to use. So once we've cleaned it and wiped it all down, just go back and either give it a few minutes to dry out, or just go back with the dry cloth and give it a bit of a wipe. So now it's time to install our mini profiles. So first things first, taking off the backing of the tape. And then we want the mesh to sit almost up against the tape. So just a small gap between the tape and the mesh. It's almost kind of where my finger is. So to this, we're going to push down the mesh. We're going to line it up on either side of the rib. And we're going to press down. Now we're going to use our adhesive to glue down the mini profiles. And we're just going to give it a small press, moving it around as we press, just to make sure it goes everywhere. And then we're going to move on to the next one. now that we've installed the mesh, we're going to cut these tabs off. So just best way to do it is with your snip. You can use a pair of scissors, but most people have their snips ready to go. Just cutting all the way along.
Once you've trimmed off all the tabs, you finish the installation. This is the finished result when you use the Blue Mountain gutter mesh screw-free system to install mesh on a roof with a wide flat pan like Klip-Lok.